So what evidence do we have for reincarnation? We actually have quite a lot. Ian Stevenson, that many people are now familiar with his research, spent 40 years gathering this sort of evidence, and he found certain signs, let's call them, occurred again and again and again. Certain features occurred again and again and again in the cases that he studied, and those cases and those features are the primary evidence we have of reincarnation. One, of course, is simply the memory of previous lives. Both the children and adults also can have these memories. The strongest ones, both in terms of extent and also in terms of how veridical they are, veridical being how factually based they are, occur with the children. The children's case are much more likely to be solved. By that we mean the previous person that the children are talking about, or the person's talking about if it's an adult, are identified. Solved cases are ones that the previous person, the deceased person, whose life the child recalls actually is known. Now, it happens that in a lot of these cases, the previous lives were only a few years in the past. Not decades, not hundreds of years in the past, only a few years in the past, and very close by the present life, so that it's possible for the children to go back, to be taken back by either their parents or by researchers to the locality of the previous life and to actually meet the previous families. And when they do, they recognize people, they recognize places, they may show their way around, they may show their way to the house, they're taken to the town, they show the way to the previous house themselves. So in addition to the memories, you also have, so you have these recognitions, right? And they will, not only do they recognize, let's say the spouse, if they were an adult when they died, but they will react towards people, towards their spouse, toward their children, in appropriate ways. I mean, these kids may be 3 years old, and they're acting like adults towards their previous family members, and they may also act like them. So that's another. So we have the memories and the emotions and the behaviors. They'll act like the previous people. I mean, it turns out this wasn't recognized before because the previous person wasn't known, but when the previous person's identity is known, it's recognized that the children is behaving very much like this person. Another major class of signs are physical ones. There may be a physical similarity, a facial similarity, not always there, but it can be. In facial structure, sometimes in eye form, in other ways in complexion, skin color, also in stature. There are a variety of different kinds of physical signs too. I think probably today the one that people know most about are birthmarks. And the birthmarks can be anything from moles to very to large splotches, to very intricate sort of birthmarks that match a whole host of different things. Sometimes they match or are in the same place of a death wound. In other cases, they can be healed wounds, scars, tattoo marks, earring holes, a whole variety of things. I think just about anything of significance, of emotional significance to the previous person, anything to which the person was attached emotionally, can get conveyed forward to the next life in a physical way. So those are the major types of evidence that have to do with the case subject. Then there's some other things that are involved in the cases, and these are interesting too, because it turns out that their mothers, when they were pregnant with them, sometimes had cravings for certain foods, which turn out to be foods that the previous person liked. And sometimes the child after birth also likes these same foods. There can also be what we call denouncing dreams, which are pregnancy dreams, in which the mother feels that the spirit of the previous person has come to her in some way, let her know that he either intends to or sometimes asks for permission to be reborn to her. These occur especially when reincarnation is in the same family, but they can also occur less often when the previous person is a total stranger. And then they may not be, the person in the dream may not be recognized until the child grows up and says something for the previous person to be recognized, identified. And at that point, from learning more about that person or seeing a picture of them, the mother recognizes at that point that, well, this is the person I saw in the dream. So those are the major types of signs that give us evidence of reincarnation.
Hi there, I'm Lisette Coley. I'm president of Parapsychology Foundation. So welcome to our YouTube channel. We have lots to look at, so please check out our videos. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.